following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. This is on GBS TV. My name is Betty Akuku. I am your host today, and I am so excited that this entire month we are going to be talking about the boy child. There's so many things that surround the boy child, and yesterday we had such a good discussion over here, and we were talking about where is the boy child. We're able to see the many places where this boy is, and some places he actually does not need to be. I have a lady and the boy child himself who are going to be taking us through this discussion of who is raising the. I'm so sure if you are a mother to a son, you're most interested in this conversation than anybody else. Welcome, my guests. Please.
Thank you. My name is Faith Nashipai. I am the Executive Director at Thriving Families Kenya. I am a trained counselor psychologist, and I am excited to be here talking about the boy child and men in general.
Wow. Welcome, Faith.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Asante.
Glad that you're excited about the boy child as well.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the chance. My name is George Kibuba. First, I'm a boy child. As you've just said, I'm the chairman of Black Rovers, Mohoko Youth Club. And also, I'm here to represent most of us, the boy child, and maybe give an opinion or maybe what most of us go through, and share with you and all of the people here the challenges and the things that we go through.
Okay. Good. Karibu sana, George. Glad that you are all here to take up this discussion. So the boy child, you know, this month we decided to just focus on the boy child. I feel like there's something that is not right with the boy child. Faith, is there a crisis?
Yes, there is. Mm-hmm. I want to confirm that there is a crisis. Mm-hmm. And just to underpin the information that we got yesterday when you were setting up the stage about the data that was presented.
Yes.
We have a major challenge with the boy child, and this is seen in actually what is happening across board and in the country. I deal a lot with matters to do with gender. I do a lot of advocacy, but when I look at gender-based violence, I prefer not looking at it from a victim perspective. I prefer looking at it from a preventive perspective. Now, that is now bringing us to GBV. We have issues of GBV that escalated last year during COVID.
Yes.
And we had a serious outcry even in government. We had the president actually hold some press conferences about people having peaceful families. We had the president talk about mental health and especially matters to do with men and the rate of suicide in the country. Before COVID, I happened to do a little bit of some statistic check with the National Police, and I was given some data, and we did actually some projecting of the data that we got, and we were looking at how many people committed suicide in the last 3 years or died by suicide in the last 3 years. In mental health nowadays we don't say committing, because suicide is actually as a result of a mental health condition.
Okay.
So what happened is that we realized that we had an escalation of 23% from 2017 to 2019.
And the majority were the boy child.
Now, the majority, which was 76%, were men and the boys. So that
So
right
sad.
there,
So sad.
that right there gives us a clear statistic that we have
A crisis.
a crisis with the men and with the boy child.
Something needs to be done.
Yes.
By the end of this month, we will find out that which must be done, and I am so sure we're gonna fix it. George, kuna crisis on the ground. What is up with the boy child? Why are we finding the boy child in all the wrong places, for lack of a better place term?
I think there is a crisis.
What is the crisis?
First, I think the girl child, from the time when they started to advocate for the girl child, they forgot about us.
They forgot about the boys.
Yeah, they forgot. So it is. I think it's now that we are trying to bring back the boy child. But before we can maybe reach to that level, we say the boy child is back to where he needs to be. I think we have a long way to go.
On right now.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
What is happening? Because when you look at the boy child, from the statistics that we had on the show yesterday, we discovered that 95% of you guys are in the prison. You know, a bigger percentage as well, like 80%, is also on the street, just the boy child. The ones on the road as touts, the ones who sing Hakietu, at 9 a.m., when the girl child is working, or people are supposed to be working, the boy child is out on the street. What exactly is happening on the ground? What has led to all this?
For me, I can say first, we don't have someone to show us the way.
Exactly. You do not have mentors.
We don't have mentors. We have inadequate mentors.
You have inadequate mentors. Yeah. So Faith, you are the director of Thriving Families. What led you to just think about the boy child and the men?
So Thriving Families are a cause provider. We are that deals with engaging, we deal with families. We look at preventive, promotive, and curative approaches. Matters to do with psychoeducation. How do we improve the family environment a better place? In the process of us doing that, and we also, we have three pillars. We have the family pillar, we have the psychosocial pillar, where now we offer counseling services and therapeutic services. And then we have the third pillar that brings me here, and that is the engagement of men and boys in gender equality, where under that pillar we are actually partners with the State Department of Gender, and our role is to engage with men and boys. So what led me to looking at men? When you look at the family, we have the woman who's been empowered, we have the girl who's always been taken care of. We have, and I give a good example. If you go to Shago Pasi and mzee anaingia kwa boma in the evening, he'll ask, where is Nyokabi? Right? Nyokabi, how was your day? Is Kamau home? Have you taken care of the cattle? Is the dog fed? For I hope you're getting the language and the tonation.
Yes.
Right? For Kamau, the discussion is about the roles that he's supposed to undertake. For Nyokabi, it's about her well-being. Right?
Yes.
So when you look at what is happening at the family level, you realize that, and then we also have a serious crisis again, where women have decided to go out and fend for the families because men are not doing their duty in a big way. So
they are not doing their duty because of what he has mentioned, for lack of someone to show. Yes, the mentors.
Yes. So when to answer you and to respond to your question, the reality on the ground is that the challenge that we have is emanating a lot from the man in the family. So if we were to equip this man, and if we were to equip the boy, we would have a good role model for the boy. Because for a son, the father is the #1 teacher.
#1 teacher?
Yes.
The father?
The father is the #1 teacher, and he'll always look up to this man. And the painful thing about us as parents is that we forget, even the Bible says that example is better than prescription.
Yes.
So if you give me instructions,
and I don't see you do it,
and I don't see you do it, it's like telling me to drink water and you're taking wine.
True.
And you're right there serving wine. I will also want to take that wine. So the reality on the ground is that, as he has said, we do not have role models. So as thriving families, we realize that it's a no-brainer here. If we want to prevent gender-based violence, if we want to have thriving families, if we want to have a society that is thriving and that is sustainable, we must consider equipping the man and the boy child.
Now, I have listened to the man. You know, the man is like the head of the family. I don't know whether he is also the pillar of the home. Sometimes people say it's the woman. But I heard you say that the man, or rather the father, is the first teacher and the best teacher to his son. Are you in agreement that your father is your best teacher and your first teacher?
I can say the best teacher,
The best,
but not the first.
not the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the best to me, you have just said, he sets an example. If he sets a good example, I'll follow it.
If he sets a bad one, you follow.
You just follow.
The statistics on Kiambu County, you know, a lot of men there have just gotten into alcoholism and drugs, and the women have decided to kind of take off and do their own things. Thankfully, in that society, the children belong to the mother. So the man is not burdened by the children, their whereabouts, and maybe their howabouts. But what is this? I mean, when women have seen this happening, they cannot but seek to be empowered to take care of their children. How do we again get back to blame the women for getting more empowered than the man when the man is busy doing this? Sometimes I would suppose that the man is not being empowered because when this is done, what do they do with their money once they get it? People are not seeing the manifestation in the family where the man is taking his money and whether he's taking up his roles and responsibilities or not. I don't know if you agree with me. That is just what is happening out there.
Let's start with, we are coming from a background where the man is not fully empowered.
Okay.
We empower the girl. How do we empower the girl? And I am of this age, of the Beijing age, because when I was in primary school, I remember my principal going to Beijing.
Yes.
What happened with the affirmative action came, so affirmed the affirmative action. Our policies are aligned to the girl. Someone goes to school, and when they go to school, they will pull girls aside. The boys are left to play football. The girls are, or they are told, endeni kwa kiwanja ama mwende mkakae darasani, and the girls are told to go to the purpose hall, multi-purpose hall, or the dining hall or something. And the girls are going to be given information about their growth.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, yes.
They're going to be given information about their development. They're going to be told this is how you feel. This is how having the hormonal imbalance makes you, your face looks like this, your body looks like this, this is your menstrual cycle, and this is how to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Mentorship 101. Girl child, shower, do this, do that. Right? On the other side, we have left the boy to play football. Kwa hivyo kijana ajile. Nobody tells the boy what happens with an erection. Nobody explains to the boy how does he end up with a wet dream and how does he react to this.
Yes.
Nobody explains to a son that waking up with an erect penis in the morning is okay. I am a mother of sons.
Yes.
So I have had one of my sons at some point coming out of the bathroom and saying, "Mommy, this thing is just standing. What is wrong?" That is in the evening after he has come from school.
Yes.
So were it not that I have the information that he could have gotten to, he could have seen a girl and he got maybe an attraction. And he was very young, by the way. He must have been 9 or thereabout.
Yes.
But he was disturbed about his small penis having an erection. So I had to affirm him. And then after that, I talked to the father and I told him, please take charge because things are happening here and you need to step in.
Yes.
We do not Parents are ignorant of the kind of children that they are raising. The fact that our children are sexually active. Children are sexually oriented, not even sexually active, sexually oriented. So it's just a matter of time for the emotions to start connecting. We also ignore the fact that the boy child has his intrinsic needs. The same way a girl has her own mechanism is the same way the boy has his own mechanism and needs to be tended and taken care of.
They are just different, but so, they both have.
So coming from the Beijing, we have said the woman, and by the way, everything that the woman has gotten, I am a woman in Kenya, I am from the Maasai community, everything that the woman and the girl has gotten in this country, they deserved. But the boy child has been neglected. Note the word, it is negligence.
Does the boy need empowerment?
I think he needs empowerment.
Empowerment.
You cannot give an opportunity
to someone who is not empowered.
Yeah, he'll waste the opportunity.
You know, people are saying that the boy needs empowerment. What he needs is opportunity. And I don't know what they actually mean, because they say, it's okay, just keep on empowering the girl, but give us the opportunity because you know what we are supposed to do.
Question.
But I'm glad it's coming from you that when you're given an opportunity with empowerment, then you're actually going to what's happening on the ground with the young boys. You mentioned that you were the chairman of the Black Rovers. Together.
Say, about the boy child, you have to give him something to catch him, something catch.
Like a bait to catch the fish.
Yeah, exactly. My word. So when you give somebody a bait, he'll come closer.
Yes.
So when he's closer, you can empower him.
Yes.
So the first thing, people don't know which baits to give. You just tell them, do this, do that. So the main baits for the boy child are sports, yeah? Maybe some jobs to give them some money. If you tell him, I'm going to, there's a project here, do this, I'll do this, he'll be coming every day, like he'll be consistent. So in this process of him coming, that's when you empower him.
That's when you teach some values.
You instill the values in him so that when he's out there, he gets maybe a bigger opportunity.
Who comes to empower you guys? Because listening to Faith, and I agree, the man in the house like went under, maybe for lack of information or lack of knowledge, not knowing necessarily what they're supposed to do when it comes to shaping up the boy child. So you guys have decided you now come together because there's a crisis and you want to fix this. Who is coming to raise you guys? Who is coming to teach you and impart those values that you have lost or that you need in the society?
For us, for the Black Rovers, we have a matron. Her name is Madam Rosemary. So I think she's like a representative of one of the people who see maybe in their community the boy child needs saving. So in Mohawk now, Madam Rosemary is like the one who saw the boy child here. I need to do something.
And she's doing it well, I want to believe. Well. And that is a woman. That is a woman, that is a mother, raising up the boy child. Who should raise the boy child?
Both parents.
Both parents.
Both parents, because I come from a belief that the making or the growing of a person requires both sexes. There are needs that a mother will meet in a child that a father will not meet in a child. And these are just definite and natural ways of responding to issues. There are lessons that a child will learn from a mother, and there are lessons that a child will learn from a father. Notice I'm using a child, meaning either girl or boy.
Yes.
Right? So I'm not very specific to either this kind of gender at this level. And therefore, the person that is supposed to raise and nurture the boy child is both the woman and the man. However, what we are seeing today is that just women, we are very solutionally oriented. When I realize that I am having a problem, I will go out of my way to solve that problem.
Yes, true.
Right? The man will first think about it, try to solve it in his mind before he actualizes his plan.
He probably fears to fail.
Yes, he fears to fail. He fears that how will people see me? How will the society see me? And all that.
Yeah.
But for us, because we have the mother's instincts, and we are looking at, like for me, I look at, if we are having 10 men in this particular area who are empowering the boys, the generations to come
Will be different.
So I look at it, for me, I look at empowerment of men and boys as a generational effect. And that is why I always say this: our seed for the next generation is not trapped in the woman, it is trapped in the man.
It is the man who bears the seed. No wonder I am so concerned about the boy child, because if this is going to be the trend, then we are going to continue going down and just losing it. As it is right now, you know, the mothers, in my view, are supposed to be mostly concerned about the boy child, because if these boys are not empowered, if they are not placed in employment, if they have nothing to do, what we're going to see is distraction. You see, right now, if you look at what is happening, it is a boy child that is idle, out there doing nothing all the time.
Let me help
and this
you
is
with
the head.
What you're saying, distraction. Allow me to cut you. We are already at that distraction stage. In 2015, the National Gender Equality Commission did a research and came up with a report about the state of the boy child in the country. Now, and they gave us some very interesting statistics, and 98% of the people who were respondents confirmed that there is a challenge with the boy child. Now,
that was 2015.
Yes, part of what they were saying is that the net effect of having the boy left behind or neglected is that we'll have broken homes, is that we'll have more men and more boys abusing alcohol, is that we'll have more deviance, which we are seeing right now.
True.
Because we are seeing our boys turn into murderers in schools, and we are seeing our sons raise down buildings in schools. We are seeing a lot in our community. We are having too much of teenage pregnancies.
Yes.
And
courtesy of the boys.
Courtesy of the boys who during COVID, we ignored our sons. We said kijana ajile. So people were not keen on telling the boy child, please don't do this. Or this is how you operate when you're next to a girl. Or this is how I expect you. Or this is the way I want you to do. Parents were still too busy trying to find money, even though kulikuwa na curfew na kulikuwa na lockdown. So the girl alikuwa naambiwa akae kwa nyumba, kijana yeye anaweza enda arudi saa 4 ama arudi saa za curfew.
George, when you hear such kinds of things going on in the homes, in the society, and then with the government, what goes down your mind? What's happening to the boys down there when they hear such kinds of conversation? Are they okay? Are they still just striving to get some work to do? What exactly is inside their inner feelings concerning the situation as it is?
I think the boys are finding their own ways to survive. Because you see, when you're left maybe alone and there's nobody tell you do this, do that, you find your own way.
Which so, may even be killing other people to survive, stealing, you know. These are now the things that actually are happening. When you cannot bear the pressure, even of exams in schools, you cannot but burn down the buildings, because when the building is burned, when the school is burned, I mean, learning cannot continue. So there's so much pressure with you guys to handle. Are you happy or unhappy with the status quo?
I could say I'm unhappy.
Unhappy. What makes you unhappy?
You see, the society we are living in right now, from the eyes perspective, it's equal. But if you dig down deeper, there are many issues that you can see there are, the girls outweigh the boys in very many things. So for us, the boys, it's like the playing playing ground is not level. So in this way, you have to go out of your way, or maybe you do what you see, like for most boys who have made it, or like for now the ages of 20 to 25. For many of us who see guys who are 23, 24, 25, 26 who have already made it, and maybe someone is there who is 18, 19, 20, 21, he wants to make it like the other person, but in his mind he wants to do it fast. Because if he tries to do it the normal way,
the ground is
for
not
sure,
level. Yes,
for sure
he will not make
he
it.
will not make it.
What is the kind of feeling, Faith, when you see such kinds of realities on the ground, that everybody has not been given equal opportunity, and there's expectation of the boy child to thrive and still be the provider, the protector, and still do what he needs to take up as his roles in the family?
It's worrisome. It's scary where we are headed. I keep telling people, let's project Kenya in the next 50 in our minds. We are already having a painful situation already. We have, I mean, people are, homicides are happening in the families left, right, and center. Young couples, people have not even started like declaring that we are. You're finding small kids committing, murder because they're having some view that the parents have not taught their children conflict resolution. Families have become places, not the havens we grew up in, where for us our parents would make sure that we don't see them fight. Our parents would make sure that our environment is very safe and very healthy. Unfortunately, the rate of violent homes are increasing. Domestic violence is increasing by the day. And this is worrisome. Why? Because it does not just have effect on the couple.
No.
It has lifetime effects on the children. So the children will either adapt to this, and when the girl gets a man who beats her, she's okay, much as she's empowered.
Yeah, because she saw it.
Yeah, because she saw it, and it is a norm. We cultured our children that violence is a norm. So this child, when she gets to her marital stage and she gets into her family environment, it's a normal thing. The boy, it's a normal thing to fight. So what we are seeing is as a result of what we've seen with our parents. Now, negligence is another problem, because the boy does not know how to take care of his family because he was also neglected. So he gets into the family environment, na anaachia bibi kazi.
So that's why the girl can only but try to find ways of being empowered, because no one is raising the boy. And if anyone is raising the boy, the government is not, and the father is not, Everyone is somehow raising the girl. I like what you said, that everything the girl has achieved, she deserves. But people neglected the boy because they thought he's a strong one, he can handle it, he can do it by himself, he can, just grow up. If he is bitter and has mental issues, he can sort himself. Wanasemanga alilia kwa choo. So what exactly are the challenges down there with the boys where you are especially?
I'd put a few across. The first one. The first one is that, and I think this goes to all the boys out there, you cannot talk about your challenges. As for me, if I have challenges, yani yangu. So I cannot speak freely.
No wonder the mental health and suicidal rate went high for the boys.
Yeah. So
so you don't have mentors, you don't have a safe space to let out.
You cannot just, if you're a man in this society, first thing, you cannot just go talking to anyone about your problems. And the second thing is that in the society you're living in, if you talk your problems out, they'll be discussed. And if they're
That
discussed,
happens for everyone.
if they're discussed, they'll not see you as a man. So it's better for you to keep the problems to yourself, find your own way of solving them. Then after you've solved them, you can tell yourself, now I'm a
Is
man.
it to do with?
I think it was
It's
just
an
cultured in us. You see, it's something we've grown to know. The second one, I think, is in the society we are living in, we want to do what we see others doing. So if you are a boy child, and maybe me talk about maybe my age group. If you are maybe there from the 20s, so you want to do what the society is doing.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. So if everybody is doing this, you have to like fit in. So if everybody is engaging in such an activity, you have to engage, unless you want to be left out. Of which in this society you cannot afford to be left out.
So whatever it is, you have to get up there where everybody else is.
Yeah.
So if people are committing crime to make it, to live in a certain apartment, that's what you've got to do. And this is because no one is here to hold your hands and show you, you know what, George, this is the right way and this is not the right way. No wonder a lot of our boy children are just in the prisons, because no one has shown them that, you know, if you do this, you are actually going to, like what you have mentioned about people in the same age group. I don't want to bring in the discussion of hustler and dynasty. I really don't want to. But when you look at people in such perspectives, that this is somebody in my age group, and they're already pushing this machine, and I did not even have a wheelbarrow or mkokoteni, are you bitter or unhappy or angry?
I can say you're not bitter. Bitter is not the word to use. You're just, it's not also jealousy. It's like you want to be there at the same time. You see, if he's pushing the machine at 24 and you're seeing this at 20, you also want to push the machine when you're at 20. So it's like you have the urge to do it. Like, if you see somebody who already has his home or got a job and you're not yet there. See, there should be somebody to tell you, this person has passed through this, that's why he has achieved such.
Yes, that someone is the one lacking.
Yeah.
Faith, you know, when you look at the boy child, sometimes it really saddens that there's so much expectation and pressure on the boy child to deliver, because he's expected to move out of his mother's home. If he's there at 25, 26, he's not considered man enough, as in, bado najikunja na mama yako kwa keja. So you actually, you know, exit and make a living by yourself outside your mother's house, you know. And the boy has no mentor. We're talking about who is raising the boy child. The one who was not raised and not mentored is the one we have given this responsibility, and that is some dads. What are we going to do? Who has now taken up this role to ensure that we are not in the bad place?
In our nation, that we have to be candid with one another. And I thought at some point, and I'm sorry to take you back to BBI, but there was the first report of BBI brought out a very good recommendation about the man and the boy child, and it also brought something about the family. I hope it is still there in the current report, because I think other things have taken over that particular report. But if we were to look at our country right now, we need to tell ourselves the truth. And these are the serious come to Jesus moments. And we tell ourselves that the state of the family is not correct. The man in the society needs to be equipped accordingly to become a better parent. Our policies need to change for us to be able to align. Our research and data collection systems need to involve the boy as they involve the girls. Or what I mean, it's actually not involving. I'm looking for the right.
There's discrimination.
Not even discrimination. We need to highlight the boy as we highlight the girl child. Why am I saying this? Just the other day, one of the national research centers, I don't want to mention the exact name, gave us a report on something very critical: disempowerment. Listen to the word, disempowerment of the girl child. I sat back and I wondered, fine, is having pregnancies left, right, and center, but who is the cause of this? Why can't we look at also the boy and ask, how do we bring the boy on board in this disempowerment issue? How do we look at the boy as the disempowered one also? We have so many schools right now, just a month after schools opened, that have closed down. Why? Boys went on strike.
You know, something that is really serious, and I wonder why someone is not taking it as seriously as should be, is that the girl child we are busy empowering and equipping is the one getting pregnant. You know, the boy child we are neglecting is the one making this girl pregnant, is the one bringing down the buildings in schools.
But let's be careful.
Yeah.
The girl child who's also getting pregnant is also getting pregnant from incest. That is the father.
Yes, yes.
So we still need
from the father and even the brother.
Yeah, and that is why when I talk about men, I talk about men across all ages.
Why can't we have a situation on the causer of the problem?
Yes.
The one who is causing the problem. If the girl is getting pregnant courtesy of his brother, his father, or his neighbor, or his relative, I mean, then this is the boy. I imagine if the boy is empowered, we will have less pregnancies. The boy will know, just like the girl is taught and empowered on how to take care of her own self, you know, when she's getting into hormonal changes and development, the boy as well will, you know, for the reason that this is happening, this is why we have all this mess. George, what do you think?
Being a bit harsh on the boy child, you are causer.
He's not the one who caused the problem?
He's not the cause. Okay. He's not the cause of the problem.
Okay.
You see, as you're just trying to portray here, the boy child has not yet been empowered. So at this stage, unless he is a man who is doing incest, the boy child is not yet empowered. You see? So if he comes to this girl and 1, 2 things go and the girl gets pregnant, you cannot call him the causer, because nobody has shown him at this age this is what he's supposed to do. He's just trying to be curious and find out for himself. So you can call him the causer, but that will be harsh.
That would tulikuwa tunapeana mkono George angekula 5. Why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? I said from Beijing all the way, that is 25 years plus, we have been talking and hammering language to do with girl child, girl child, girl child. But nobody takes the boy through his growth stage.
That's what we're talking about, who's raising the boy.
Yes. Nobody sits down with the boy and explains to him, this is how you're supposed to act. And I also want to blame culture. You come from Luya community, from your name. When the boys go through the initiation period, what are they told? Si wanamongo kaoshe. Kuosha ni nini? Isn't that making them perpetrators of GBV? Gender-based violence. Because he's not even been taught how to go request for some of these things. He's simply been told, go do it. So it's more like initiation has given him freedom to do it. So eventually what happens? The boy goes, discovers, and he's also curious, as he has rightly said. He goes, discovers, and then what happens? Pregnancy comes up. Then what do we do as the society? When mwanaume mzuri sana, especially in Luya community, in the Bungoma, Kakamega, we have also very high rates of teenage pregnancies, and we have very high rates of GBV. You look at some of these things that are also instigated by our cultures. And we need to have, and that's why I'm saying, we need a candid discussion in this country where we ask ourselves, where are we coming from? Is it culture that is pushing our men to become violent? Is it policy? Is it our policies? Is it the way that we train our children? I am a mother of boys, and you will look at a mother of boys. I have had a mother of boy. I have had a mother say, we had actually gone to do some recording somewhere in Nyahururu, and she said she has a boy and she has a girl. She's a single mother. She said, my daughter has to eat, but when my son goes and comes, I don't care what time he comes back, but if he comes home after 7, he knows very well there is no food for him. So if the girl came home after 7, will she find food?
Maybe, yes.
Discrimination right at the family level. And that is why when we are asking who is raising the boy child, I would want to ask, how are we raising the boy child? The question is not the who, the question is how. Because you can have a father who is not present. You can have a father who provides, very good at providing.
So that means he's not raising. He has led it to the society.
No. According to him, he's raising. No,
that's not
culture.
raising.
Culture taught him that a man provides. Don't we push men to provide? We do. So his business ni kwenda kazi na kuleta chakula.
And that's how he goes into the family.
Shule.
That's how he goes into the family.
Right?
You know, paying school fees.
Shule. Yes. So at the end of the day, what happens? This man is harassed at work. Whether he's a CEO or whether he's a watchman, he's harassed at work. When he's coming back home, the next thing that he's thinking is, kuna fees inafaa kulipwa, I have to hit this target. So for men, because they are more targeted, he's looking at, this is my focus, I have to do this. So he forgets the place of a father. Pitia mahali anatoa stress na mbili kwa barabara. By the time he's coming home, the kids are asleep. So you have an absent dad. So am I saying that the father is not present? He is present. He is providing, but he is present absent. That is what I call them, present absent fathers.
I wouldn't say that such a father is raising children because he is actually not there. Raising is not just providing. There are children in the streets and they eat. They are dressed up.
I come from another community.
There are people who go to school and it's not their parents who are paying the school fees.
No. I come from a certain community that says that even if a lion is asleep and it is in the house, it is still important. Right? Now, even if a man is not like saying do this and do that, but he's bringing food in the house, our society has taught him that he's still raising children. So what I'm saying is, how do we, my question is, how do we, because the how is what will give us a solution. The who, we've already identified that we have left the role of raising children to the mother. And I don't want to be very harsh because I have a very big followership of men and they always tell me, Faith, who are serious. I know there are men who are very, very committed to fatherhood. I have examples of men who will, when they're taking their sons through initiation, ndio watawapeleka, but they will take their sons, sit down with them, explain to them the process of initiation.
That is good.
And after explaining to them, they will be part of the process until the son heals completely. Whether he's gone for a camp or not, he'll be in the process of it until the son heals completely and he is able to come back home.
George, do you prefer moms or dads?
On that one, I think I'll be biased. I come from a single mother, so definitely.
You prefer
I prefer my
mom?
Yeah.
Because moms are a little bit soft and the dads are so firm.
I'll also speak for the boy child who also has both parents. I think we prefer moms.
You prefer moms?
Because our relationships with our fathers, I wouldn't say it's bad, but I'd say it's not as good as the ones with our mothers.
Okay.
Because
When you were relating, you know, with girls, of course, the boy child has a boyfriend. I want to suppose. What is the pressure? What is the pressure? Because right now, all emphasis she's the one working. Everyone is talking about her, thinking about her, wanting to give her a job. And you're here, no one is thinking about you. When you relate with such a girl, you know, and you have done all your hustle that you need to do, and leave her, because you can't just take her out and you let her pay the bill, much as she's doing something, right? You still want to show that you are the boy here, so you will pay the bill and do that in your mind. Are you revenge?
At the time, I think when you are with a girl, you're also empowering her.
Okay.
She's a girl, so you also have to show her that love and support. And you also have, maybe when you go to dates and stuff, as you've said, you have to pay the bills. So when you get dumped, I'd say that there's no revenge.
So now you don't feel bitter that the girl, you don't feel unhappy or bad.
You'll feel bad.
That the girl is being empowered and you guys are neglected.
No, you'll feel bad and unhappy, but revenge is a little bit too far, because you see, in that state, the one that you are with a girl, you are doing it out of something you wanted to do.
Okay.
So you'll feel unhappy and you'll feel maybe, you'll just feel lonely at the time. But if you are doing revenge, that means that you are not doing it from your heart.
Okay.
So
would you let a girl, by the way, would you let a girl pay your bills, pay for Uber, pay for house rent? Would you?
She can pay once or twice.
Okay.
But not affluent.
You can't be comfortable with that.
You can't.
You can't.
You'll feel like you are the lady in the relationship.
So everyone has their roles, and the man has his own place. You know, he just needs to get something to be able to fulfill.
This is what I tell women. When you get to the family and your man is not able, probably he doesn't have a job and he has his certificates and he has his plan and everything, help him achieve his plan. Don't get into his space of starting to take up every other bill in the house and sorting it out forever. Because what you'll do, you'll just be telling him, I can do it. It doesn't matter how well you're empowered. It does not matter. Let the family sit down and have clearly demarcated roles. That yes, we are not able to do this, but we are able to do this. This is where our family is headed. This is how we are going to run this show. It is our show. It is not someone else to see. It is ours. And that is done by girls who have been taught, not just empowered, they have also been taught. They're the ones who can do such kinds of things that Faith is talking about. No.
Yes.
Even men do it. Even men do it. But unfortunately, there are also men who are they are well equipped. And when they come to put this in the family space, the woman does not want it to happen that way. Right? How she wants it to happen the way she knows how. I keep telling people, if you're talking about marriage, it is two people who are cleaving. So your system should be cleaving completely. It's not just a sexual
so naturally, the man, like George says, the man naturally is the one who knows it is his role and his duty to do those things. So when the woman is more empowered than him, for the woman to be the one who decides, I will do this until such a time, or I will help you sort out your papers until such a time when you're not able to, that girl has gone through a higher what other girls have.
No, I think it's wisdom.
I don't think
it's higher class.
Yes,
I think it's just pure wisdom.
And that is the other class I'm talking about. That is the higher class, because all other people know that is the man's work. Even because you're a boy child, it's not for me.
But you see, these two people have sat down and agreed. They started with agreeing.
They have agreed.
The same way they agreed that we are going to, today we are so they started, right? We start dating. It is the same way they've agreed that now we are in the house and bills need to be sorted, children need to be taken to school, and all these other things need to be done. So we cannot afford X, but we can afford Y.
True.
So because of this, how about we do things this way in a family budget manner? That is
Well
where
understood.
people are going wrong. And then also have a timed space. Sit down with your partner and tell them, the best I can be able to do is support to this level when it is coming to the entire of the budget in the family. So I can be able to push to this level, I think, with our resources. And men should also be kind to themselves and very honest. If there is someone...
Instead of straining above.
Yes, I want to tell you
out of
that if
time.
there is someone that you can be honest with in your life, it is that wife that you're with. Because at the end of the day, look at the life cycle. You'll have started life with her. Then you go a whole cycle, and you raise children, and the children leave the house. Who ends up in the house? It is you and your wife.
True.
So important is build this relationship, build trust with your wife, and don't do something that is going to break that trust. Because at the end of the day, that is where it all goes back to.
George,
Yeah.
what are your last words to your fellow Vijanas or whoever is it that is raising the boys?
First, I'd start with raising the boys. I think I'd say just, I'd not specify that race, so I'd say everyone in the raising of the boy child. So I'd say whatever you can participate in, yeah? Be it you can do this, you know, for you maybe Betty you can tell me, I have a session, come. For maybe Faith you can tell me, come, I'm going to take you to this club. So in one way or the other, both of you have contributed to empowering me. So I'd say to the mentors, whatever you can do, if it is material you can support, if it is talks, if it is an example for the men, if it is an example, show it.
Show up.
For the vijana, naweza sema kwa Kiswahili, tuta make it. So kuna watu husema haijalishi venye uta make it, lakini siwezi sema hivyo mimi. Lakini in the end, by the time tuna make it, tunafika hiyo level yenye tunataka kuwa, acha tukue wase wamejijenga.
Na make it right.
Na make it right.
Less than a second.
Now, the people who are raising the boy child, I want to talk to the mothers and tell them that it is not all lost. Even Jesus, the first miracle he performed, and he was very categorical. He said, it is not yet our time. He actually called his mother woman, it is not our time. But the same woman went ahead and told the disciples, do as he tells you. And he performed a miracle. Now, that is in the wedding of Cana. So what am I saying? The mother will walk with the child and she will see the strengths of the child, and she's supposed to call out the strengths of the child. Because this is a child like any other child. So please, women, let us call out the good things about our children, and let us not negate nurturing our sons. The other thing about men, please show an example to our sons. If you're a father, do as you'd want your next generation to count you as, our grandfather used to do this. Our grandfather said ABCD, and therefore we are going to do it as he said. That way we are impacting generations to come. Finally, Thriving Families has come up with a 3 Million Men's campaign, and will be hitting the ground. We'll be reaching out to communities. Why? Because we want to empower fathers. We want to equip men. And we want to challenge this thing called GBV and look at, we have men, when you look at statistics, when you look at the statistics in 2014, the demographics in 2014, you will find that 47% of the women who are victims of GBV. So look at it on the overt side and say, out of these 47, we had 47% perpetrators. How can we stop these perpetrators? So in us stopping the perpetrators, we are engaging men for positive masculinity towards ending GBV in the country through the 3 Million Men campaign.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you, George, for coming to the show. And I know they're more interested even in hearing you again. Thank you, viewer, for watching this episode of The Boy Child. The whole month, we're going to be doing this, just talking about the boy child. I know that you love the boy child and you have many things you want to see come out of the boy child positively. Keep it here. We'll do this again and again. For today, I've been your host. My name is Betty. See you next time.
Theology schools were established to prepare people to preach the clear gospel of Jesus Christ. They were designed to teach the truths of the Bible and to build an unwavering faith in God. However, as time has passed, theological